rising from the depths of poverty to develop one of the world's most well-known and innovative fashion businesses appears to be an impossible dream to many. However, Leonardo Del Vecchio, a self-made billionaire, turned his dream into a reality. Ranking in the top 100 on the Forbes Global Fortune list and the second wealthiest man in Italy, Leonardo Del Vecchio, a self-made man of ability and vision, is the founder of Luxottica, the world's most dominant manufacturer and marketer of eyewear. In fact, his success is so dominant that almost all eyewear brands get their eyewear made by his company, Luxottica. If you own a pair of eyeglasses or contact lenses, the odds are they are made from one of Leonardo's companies. But success is like an iceberg. You can only see the tip of it shining above the water. What you don't see is the largest portion of the iceberg underwater, keeping the iceberg afloat. The road to success for Leonardo wasn't butterflies and rainbows. He was born in Milan and given to an orphanage by his mother since she did not believe she could raise him alone. His father had died 5 months before his birth. Raised in an orphanage with no family or guidance would not be used as a reason for becoming a victim to his environment. Like most of our success stories, people such as Leonardo Del Vecchio do not let their past, their circumstances, or lack of resources determine their future. He built a world-class leader in eyewear, and the company he built either owns or markets with the top eyewear brands in the world. Brands like Ray-Ban, Oakley, Essilor, Chanel, LensCrafter, and more. So how did he become one of the most successful entrepreneurs in the world despite his poverty, despite having no childhood advantages or family wealth to help him? How did he create a company so dominant that many people claim he has built a monopoly? How did an orphan child rise from the depths of poverty and lack of resources to build one of the world's greatest companies? And more importantly, what can we all learn from the legendary Leonardo Del Vecchio? Let's jump in. Hello and welcome to our YouTube channel, where we examine well-known individuals and business owners to discover the secrets behind their success. If you enjoy what you see, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe button so you can view more motivational films about the struggles, successes, and lessons gained from some of the most well-known business people in history. In this video, we'll examine Leonardo Del Vecchio's journey from childhood poverty and how he consequently drew motivation from his past and built one of the great business empires in the world that changed the faces of billions of people globally. Leonardo Del Vecchio was born on May 22, 1935, in Milan, where his parents had emigrated from the southern region of Puglia. Leonardo's father sold vegetables on the streets of Milan but died before he was born. When he was 7 years old, his mother gave him up to an orphanage during the hardships of World War II. From a young age, he saw the value in work, in whatever form it took. He believed that bringing passion to whatever work you did was the key not only to happiness but also success. He once told Forbes that if he had started life as a fruit seller, he would have been passionate about fruit. In Milan, on his own, with no family help, he began his career as an assistant to a tool and die manufacturer as soon as he could work. After learning the trade at a young age, he decided to turn his metalworking skills to make eyeglass parts. The work was hard, and he lost part of his left index finger while on the job. At age 15, the factory owner, who saw promise in young Leonardo and loved his enthusiasm and passion, encouraged him to enroll in night sessions at the Brera Fine Arts Academy, specializing in design. He learned the importance of aesthetics and design. With time, Leonardo grew increasingly fascinated and passionate about glasses and frames, which inspired him to move to Agordo, Italy, in the region of Veneto. In 1961, he opened his eyeglass frame shop in Agordo, which became known as Luxottica. In 1967, Leonardo decided to enter the glasses assembly business and sell complete eyeglass frames, despite only having 6 years of experience. The job was difficult because of the tough competition. But this competition started to help Leonardo to understand how to compete in a growing industry and how to create a company that can grow and succeed despite a competitive climate. In 1971, he also entered the contact lens manufacturing business. He realized this new market had a lot of potential. He now had experience in all sectors of eyewear and vision. A few years later, in 1976, Luxottica stopped making frames for other brands and launched its own eyewear brand. Leonardo's dream was to become a fully integrated company, where Luxottica would design, manufacture, distribute, and retail its eyewear through their own retail and global partnerships. Leonardo believed anything was possible, and his futuristic approach, timely decisions, and strategies helped Luxottica to have full control and take over every stage of the eyeglass manufacturing process. He was fearless in his approach to building and expanding. His distant family, while being in some communication with young Leonardo, didn't encourage him in any of this. He accomplished everything with his own ingenuity, flair, and creativity. He believed in his vision. He was not stopped by criticism or naysayers. His training gave him confidence in manufacturing and design, and his experience taught him to understand what people liked and wanted. So what made Leonardo successful? The first reason for his success was Mr. Del Vecchio's intense and legendary concentration, which he maintained from his initial days as a manufacturing assistant until the end of his career. He once stated, "If you are distracted or rest on your pillow, someone will come and take your business," as I watched happen with numerous entrepreneurs who started with me, without your recognizing it. His self-assurance in his skills and abilities was the second factor in his success. He understood that a person's ability to overcome obstacles and succeed in life depends on their level of self-belief. He succeeded because he had confidence in himself. He recognized that hard work builds confidence and procrastination creates insecurity and doubt, so he chose to keep working whenever doubt would set in. Business growth and entrepreneurship are built on passion and persistence. There will always be setbacks and failures, but failure cannot survive in the face of persistence. With his unique training in manufacturing and aesthetics, he realized that by buying or partnering with established popular brands, he could grow exponentially faster, and then bring his design and marketing integration to those brands. As a result, he purchased or built some of the most exclusive and well-known brands in the world, like Ray-Ban, Oakley, Persol, LensCrafters, Opsum, Sunglass Hut, iMed, Pearl Vision, Sears Optical, Glasses.com, OneSight, Target Optical, and more. For many companies, this would be enough, but for Leonardo, this was only part of his strategy. He also wanted to be associated with the world's most dominant brands. So he now has partnerships with Chanel, Prada, Armani, Burberry, Versace, Dolce & Gabbana, Michael Kors, Miu Miu, and more. Nearing 70, Mr. Del Vecchio announced his retirement in 2004 and turned over the management duties to a younger executive, Andrea Guerra. But a decade later, not happy with the growth of his company, Mr. Del Vecchio surprised his shareholders by retaking the reins of Luxottica. He went right to work and orchestrated the merger of Luxottica, which now has more than 140,000 employees and sales in more than 150 countries. When asked why he still works, when he's worth tens of billions of dollars, he stated, "I've always aimed to be the greatest at whatever I do." Leonardo was a legendary entrepreneur that created an entire industry, and he worked well into his 80s, still committed to excellence, still living with passion and pursuing his dreams until his death on June 27th, 2022. And his company brought the little town of Agordo, Italy, into the center of world innovation and design. But he was also deeply passionate about making a difference and improving the lives of those around him, especially his employees. He transformed the corporate working culture in Italy in many ways. Luxottica's welfare system was first launched in 2009, at the height of the international economic crisis, and also includes healthcare, microcredit, counseling and scholarships, among other initiatives. In 2016, he introduced a life bonus for tens of thousands of his employees and kicked off the Generational Pact as part of an agreement with INPS, Italy's National Social Security Institute. This was the first such initiative for the private sector in Italy. The goal was to support new generations of workers by helping existing workers work part-time in their pension years, if they wanted to, without impacting their pensions. This would help offering younger people the opportunity to step into the workforce, while Luxottica would pay Social Security to INPS for those employees that would adhere to the initiative by working part-time so they would not lose their pension. In 2017, he donated €300 million and established the Leonardo Del Vecchio Foundation to support charitable and non-profit initiatives, and through the foundation he donated €10 million to the new hospital created at the Milan Fairgrounds at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. Del Vecchio rose from an orphanage in Milan to become one of the world's greatest manufacturers. He combined eyewear with fashion, elevating a common need to making a fashion statement as to who you are and what your eyewear says about you. Del Vecchio built an iconic company, and his story is one of the greatest stories of passion and commitment. So what did you learn from Leonardo's success? Tell us in the comments below, and if you like this video, don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe to our channel and tell your friends. Thank you for watching, and remember, your past does not determine your future. If you want to fly, you have to give up what weighs you down. Take daily actions to turn your big dream into reality. No matter how small, every action you take gets you one step closer to your big dream, and every action builds momentum.